Woo! Alright, what's up everybody? It's your boy Nate, and today I'm going to show you how you can edit your photos right on the Lightroom app. That way you can just get to... Yeah. Okay, now I should really do that again. Okay, so I'm using the Samsung Note 8 to edit this, but you can really use an iPhone or any other Android because the app works for both platforms pretty well. This app is super dope. I love it because I've been editing photos for a while now, just using the desktop version. But when I found out that they had a mobile version for your phone, I had to check it out and I realized, holy shit, Adobe literally just gave away one of the best photo editing apps for free with complete functionality. So the cool thing about Lightroom to me is that it's almost identical to the desktop app. If you have been editing photos beforehand, it's probably gonna look really familiar to you, but if this is your first time getting into it, don't worry, I'm gonna go over all the things that you need to know in order to edit your photos right from your phone. Now, one thing that I'm gonna suggest you guys to do if you can using your phone, change the settings to make it to where you can shoot in RAW. And what that's gonna do is just save in all the information in that photo without kind of baking it in. And what that means is whenever you take a photo and you save it as a JPEG, it compresses it, and changing the colors and other like white balance information, all this technical jargon is a lot harder when you do it that way. But don't worry, because Lightroom is also pretty smart in that you can still edit JPEG photos pretty well, but you're just gonna have a lot more flexibility if you're shooting in RAW. Anyway, so I'm not gonna make you have to memorize and sit here and listen to me just talk about one after the other. We're gonna use a real world example for the photo that I took, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I edit it and the thought process that goes behind it and why I'm changing the settings the way I'm changing it. So let's go ahead and see this. I'm gonna pull up Lightroom now. All right, so we are in the phone. I'm gonna go ahead to my photos. Ooh, okay, so this one is a photo I actually took back in 2014. We were doing a rooftop photo shoot, and in the moment, right, I was noticing it's on top of a roof. That means super bright. It's Los Angeles, really bright day. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I'm just gonna go ahead and click all to reset it entirely, and you're gonna see it says CR2, and that's just because this is a RAW file and CR2 is the file extension that conveys it's a RAW file. Okay, that was super nerdy the way I explained that. All right, anyways, so I have the photo here, and the first thing I'm noticing is that the highlights, which is just the brightest parts of the image, you can see over here on her forearm, and then just on the sides of her neck right here, and then even on the sky, those are super blown out. And by blown out, I just mean I can't really see anything. It just looks white to me. So I'm gonna probably wanna go ahead and lower down the highlights. And then also I'm seeing in the black areas just right about her armpits and the folds on her shirt, they're super black, and it's a bright day. So I kinda wanna also be able to show some of those details in there. So the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna go ahead, and there's all these settings here. I'm gonna click on light, and that is normally the first setting that I ever do on a photo is just go ahead and light. And most of the time things are blown out, so I'm just gonna lower down the highlights all the way, it looks like. And yeah, that actually gave me back some more details in the sky and up there. Now I'm also gonna scroll down and click on whites, and I'm also gonna lower it down. You can see how just we're getting so much more detail in this. Now don't worry if the photo is starting to look a little darker now, because I have a trick to also keep the skin tones nice and smooth while also bringing out a lot of depth and clarity in the image. And one of those ways I do it is by fixing my shadows, right? Just like there, we see the blacks on her shirt raise up a bit, and I may even go ahead to my blacks. I might even lower the blacks just to keep them nice and dark, and we keep the contrast in there. And already I'm just gonna hold it so we can see the difference, and bam, that already looks like a nice, well-balanced image. I can go ahead and check on the histogram just to make sure, and it looks like there's still a lot of stuff happening in the whites area, but yeah, this is kind of the way it's shot. But let's go ahead and see if we can stretch out this a little bit more and make this even more balanced. And let's see. Now the thing is, I actually like to keep it well within this range. And yeah, most of the time whenever Adobe has its auto settings, it'll look decent, but it doesn't let me really create a mood with it. So if I want to give it a certain feel, I will specifically go through the settings, or I'll go ahead and use a preset, which by the way, we have a whole preset pack made from these settings. You can find on Etsy right now if you're interested. Yeah, go ahead and check it out if you want. So let's see on the contrast right here. I'm gonna lower the contrast. People are gonna be like, wow, this image is looking washed out, but trust, all right? There's a secret technique that's gonna make this image pop even more in a second, all right? So I think right now for the lighting, I love how it looks. It looks pretty good. Sometimes I might even increase the exposure just by like a tiny like 0.009 or 0.005%. And that's just me being picky and wanting to also make those highlights feel like they're just shimmering. All right, and so right next to the light setting, we have the color setting, and this is the one that I always go to right afterwards. And as it looks like the sky is kind of like this sky blue, makes sense, but I remember it feels very vibrant when I'm there, and this photo doesn't convey that. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually just click on the mix setting and then tap on the background. All right, so once I click on that setting, it's gonna let me go ahead and adjust the saturation of just that one color. So I'm gonna raise the blues all the way up, and wow, it just makes the sky look like it's super vibrant. It looks beautiful. Now I also see these trees in the background here. They're kind of tinged yellow, but I'm just gonna raise that saturation up a little bit. Not as much as the blues, but I definitely wanna bring some more color back into this. And another cool feature is that I can even selectively change the hues, which is just gonna be like changing the colors if I wanted to. That's pretty wacky right there. Sometimes if I wanted to look like a teal, like a nice teal and orange look, I might go for raising those up a little higher. It gives it more of a style to it. And then I may even go into the luminance, which is just raising it up or down, and I might even lower it down just ever so slightly to get back a little bit more details into the clouds. And already this is looking like a pretty impressive image to where, so if you hold it down, you can see the difference already between the before and after. It is super wild. So if I like how this looks, I can even, well, all right, here's what I do to finish up. I'll go into the detail. I'll increase the sharpening just probably about like 49. And I tend to lower down the radius just so we don't get those like really fine, noisy like parts of it. And then I'll go even into effects. And this is where I think Lightroom shines the most. You get it? You get it? Lightroom shines the most. Like, all right, anyways. So, so I go into effects, and in texture, this is a really cool feature where if I raise it up, it's gonna go ahead and just add texture back into parts of the image, like mainly wherever I see like clothing details, I see it the most, or even like little pores without making people look too, yeah, I just hate super airbrush photos. I don't think that's like considered photo editing. And so one of the cool ways though that I like to make skin tones feel smooth is just by making sure to get the lighting nice and even along them. And even going back in and adding texture to where people can still see that it's not an airbrush skin, but it's a skin that, you know, has texture to it. It feels real and it looks like natural, even though it has a nice style to it. And clarity is one of those things that's gonna increase the contrast and make things look like you took it in super HD. If you wanted to, you could actually lower the clarity. That's gonna make your photo look more and more airbrushed. I don't really do this too often, by like maybe just like -5 if anything, but most of the time I'm pretty impressed with the way that clarity works in the opposite direction with just even adding more details to it. But for this one, I'm gonna like barely even add it to it. And I'm gonna go down to dehaze, which is one of the coolest features to me. It works pretty much to where if you go in the backwards direction, it looks like you shot this photo in a fog. Or if you go in the other direction, it looks like, yeah, there's absolutely no like haziness or air in the when you took this. So this is a cool way to get just like a tiny bit more details back into it and fix up the contrast that we took out earlier while still making the skin tones feel nice and smooth. So, all right, and to complete this off, if we wanted it to feel hazy, we could go to the vignette feature, add it to the bottom of it, but I think this photo is already good as it is. I'm just gonna leave the vignette off. And just like that, I think we have a nice dope looking photo. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this out as a preset. And let's see, create preset. Now I can go ahead and select all the things. All the stuff is mainly selected, but I'm gonna give it a name and call this Rooftop Los Angeles, because this is exactly the feeling I want it to feel like. You're watching almost like a, oh shoot, it's gonna ask me to replace. I'm gonna just rename this Rooftop Los Angeles 2. So the reason why it said that there's already a preset saved is because I've actually already edited this photo. This was a part of a whole photo shoot. We actually made a bright and vivid preset. You can get very similar results with just one click. And I'm gonna show you all the different presets we have. So this one's super poppy. All these give it different feels. For this one, I love the way that the Rooftop Los Angeles looked. And this is another set that we just made with the teal and orange tones. So, all right, cool. So I hope that helps. That's pretty much how you make your own photo edits using Lightroom on your smartphone. Oh, almost dropped the phone, but I didn't because I caught it. Dope. All right. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'd love to read it. And if you want to get the presets for your smartphone, all you have to do is go to our Etsy page, and we have, I think, 8 out right now. All of them are based on different locations that we've taken photos in and different feels that we've given them. Yeah, we're gonna be giving discount codes down in the description box. And as always, hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.